Good morning, welcome to the garden. So today we got, well, I guess last night, we got our first frost. So we've officially had some frosty nights here. As you can see, the coleus is taking a little bit of that frost damage, but actually this is such a little bit of a microclimate that honestly the frost kind of doesn't hit us as hard until it really gets cold. But even with that, even with our little microclimate area here, I am going to put on the cover on the Unheated Greenhouse today, and I'm going to take you through that process, kind of show you what that looks like. We'll get it put on and talk about greenhouse plans. As you can see with the frost, our beautiful containers that were built to survive the frost were not bothered at all. They look great. They are perfectly happy, and even like the ivy here is starting to put on some growth up the topiaries. I will link the videos to these different container videos because they were so fun to make, and they're looking so great. And the little frost, no big deal. And then what I'm just going to do is pull out any of those plants, the summer annuals that did get hit by the frost. So I think it's time for those coleus to go. Now over here is the Unheated Greenhouse space, and I can tell that the frost did not actually even reach to this area because there is a volunteer tomato over here in one of these containers, and as you can see, it looks perfectly healthy. So this is a very warm corner, and if you are setting up an unheated greenhouse space, a nice protected corner like this will really help maximize the warmth that your greenhouse cover provides. So I definitely recommend finding, like, if you have a corner that gets full sun, that maybe has, like, there's stones down here, helps to keep it warm. I do have the container pond in this area as well, so this is going to help to keep this whole area again warm and warmer, but it also will get cold eventually. So eventually, probably within the next couple weeks here, we're going to start getting those really big cold nights, and we're going to have, these plants are going to definitely take the actual hit of the frost. So I just want to get the greenhouse cover on so that once we get to the really cold days, it'll be ready to go. Now I did leave the frame up all summer, and as you can see, I have been growing in it. I've just been using it as another growing space. I've been utilizing the grow bags in the base and the shelves, and it's been really awesome. And what's nice about it is that now when I go to put it on the cover, it's just literally so easy. So I just been storing the cover in my garage. I'm gonna go grab it, and then we'll pop it on the greenhouse frame, and it's pretty simple. All right, so here is the Unheated Greenhouse cover. I probably could have stored this more elegantly, but I did not. So this is just one of those like unheated greenhouses that you can get on Amazon or Walmart or any other places. And this cover has lasted me, this is, my gosh, is it my third season at least, and I think it does help the longevity that I do take it off during the summer, obviously, but it's held up pretty well. I think there's like one or two tiny little tears in the side, but nothing that's seriously damaged it. It's handled all of our weather pretty well. I will say that, again, I have a protected space where I put the unheated greenhouse, and I attach it to the fence and the house, and so that has helped, I think, just keeping it from blowing around too much or getting like majorly ripped, but it's done really well. So now I'm just going to go ahead and put this on the greenhouse frame, and I will show you that process. Let me set up the camera. All right, there it is. I will keep kind of fluffing it and making sure I get all the little ties inside tied down, but it looks good. And then I'm just going to take the outside ties and tie them to the fence so that it's more secure on there. But for right now, unless we have like a super windy day, I will just leave the door open because it's going to get very warm in there. So you do have to really watch if you have temperatures that are like we're going to have temperatures in the 50s and 60s today. Fahrenheit, that is, it can get really hot in there really quickly, like well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And so you just have to kind of be careful that you're keeping it open and you're venting it, especially if you're doing like what I'm trying to do, which is grow cold weather crops just longer. I'm trying to just extend my harvest and everything. This can be kind of tricky. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of keep it open for now. I don't think actually our next few nights we're going to be getting a frost. For us, we really don't get like consistent cold temperatures, consistent freezes until into January. So for the next couple months, we might get a frost now and then. And so I'll close it for those nights when we have like those random nights. But otherwise, I'll just leave it open. If it gets down to 40 degrees in there, that is perfectly fine for everything that is growing inside. Now I am going to get my little net and fish out all the leaves that are in the container pond right now because I don't want those sitting in the container pond, and I have a really good opportunity now that the cover's on that hopefully not as many leaves will be getting into the container pond. So now that the unheated greenhouse is set up, we're pretty well started for everything to keep growing in there. The fall garden so far has been doing pretty well. The carrots are coming up. As you could see, the containers back here are doing great. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. I will say this is a slower time of year, so I really haven't been out in the garden quite as much. It's been busy with school and different things, and I think it's good to take a little bit of a rest period now and then in the garden. And there's still a few chores to be done, so I do still have some peppers, and looking at them now, they weren't even hit by the frost. So whatever this frost has done, it definitely didn't really hit the garden here. I do need to probably clean those out. At this point, the peppers are not flowering, they're not producing any more peppers, so they're basically over. I am hoping that the temperatures will stay in these like 60s, 70s, 50s during the day, and I'll still get more growth on all of my greens. So I have been harvesting so much arugula that has proved yet again to be such a fabulous fall crop for me. It has been so delicious. We've been having it in salads. It's been great. My mustards are doing really well too. All the mustard greens really like this time of year for growing, so I'm kind of like taking note of that. And then I'm just hoping that the unheated greenhouse will help that growth to continue to happen. What I may do is take some of these containers, like the container kale, the green onion containers, the arugula containers, and as the temperatures start to get a bit colder, I may go ahead and move those into the unheated greenhouse, again just to provide protection. So that greenhouse, it's just one of those plastic little greenhouses that you get, and it's not heated in any way other than with the sun and like the warmth that comes from the sun, but it does provide, my goodness, it does protect and provide quite a decent amount of protection. So hopefully if I move some other containers in there as the season progresses, it'll just like give them a little bit of warmth, so maybe they keep growing. Although in the next month or so, most of the growth, like active growth in the garden, will probably stop. And there's a certain point where we just don't really get that much active growth. Go ahead and put any questions that you have about the unheated greenhouse into the comments. I will do another like Q&A answering video all about the greenhouse. I may come back and do like a whole how to set up your greenhouse growing in the winter, if that's something that's interesting to you. I have a few videos about it, but I feel like sometimes those are old videos and so they just get kind of buried. So if you want like a detailed all the details, how to set it up and what to grow and everything video, let me know. Or if you have like specific questions, let me know, and I can answer some more things, because I know that the unheated greenhouse space tends to get quite a lot of questions. It's something that is, you know, accessible to a lot of us, even with smaller gardens, but there are some tricks to kind of using it. So anyways, I am just going to keep tidying up out here. I've been kind of sweeping up some of the leaves a little bit. I did downsize the container garden. You probably noticed there's a lot fewer containers out here, and so I'm just kind of been like cleaning containers and putting them away for fall. I did lose a couple terracotta pots last winter. We did get a few cold snaps last winter, and I lost some terracotta pots. They did crack. So other than the ones that are actively growing plants, either out here or in the greenhouse, I think I am going to take most of my terracotta pots and actually put them into the garage, just to keep them more protected. So I'm going to do that process a little bit today as well. But anyways, yeah, let me know your questions, greenhouse thoughts. It's exciting to have that set up there. And I will talk to you again soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.